Hello and welcome to the second draft of the second game in the LCK Finals between GenG and DAMWON. If you have missed the first part, click in the top right corner, there should be an icon to lead you to that game. Moving on, DAMWON won the first game with a good draft advantage, so now let's see if GenG can recalibrate and equalize the series. In the Banphase we already see a bit of an issue, so now, as many people think he's very powerful, should be higher in priority, so if you ban him, it should be on red side, in theory, right? It's a champion that can be played around, but in their minds at least, it's very powerful. So seeing that on blue side is very questionable. Seraphine ban on blue side, like, I'm sorry to be so direct, but it's very, it's a very clear sign of incompetence. The champion has been in the meta for a while, and everyone, every top team at least, should be able to play him. So yeah, if GenG still has not added this to their repertoire, that's a red sign. Silas as well, a champion that is not very good at the moment. It's more a placebo because players are good at the champion, but the champion is not good at least. On the other side, furthermore, ruler bans, and then they waited with the Thresh ban, right? It's their open ban to see if they need to ban Seraphine, right? I mentioned that in the past. Don't ban Seraphine on red side immediately, ban her at least here or here, because yeah, maybe if you're playing against a team like GenG that is incapable, they ban Seraphine themselves because they don't want to first pick, right? They're not playing it, so then you can wait with the Seraphine ban and yeah, maybe you get a free ban. But we see quite a few picks are open, so we see Hecarim here first. Hecarim, red and green champion, and he's highly prioritized, even more so than Udyr, because I guess he's a bit more easier to play, maybe. And yeah, red and green. It's a bit strange, he is not as flexible as Udyr in his approach, right? Udyr a bit more white in his color scheme, so he's more versatile in different team comps and can, not perfectly, but at least mimic having multiple modes. Hecarim on the other side, only forward, only one mode, so that's a bit of an iffy. He's not a good first pick, in my opinion at least. DAMWON here with the full-on Sinner rotation. These champions are pure red, there is nothing to them besides that. Might want to add the green and red here for the Hecarim. And yeah, at least the champions are on theme, right? That's what we're talking about for now. And yeah, they can at least do somewhat into Hecarim, right? Hecarim doesn't really have the white elements in his kit. He can't really approach fights defensively at all. His power comes from running in, so he won't really stand too much of a chance if Nidalee and Renekton get rolling. Then we continue with Tristana. Tristana, a bit interesting. She is green actually, and blue as well, at least a bit of blue. So another champion that is not white and can resist this, but yeah, you could theorize here, okay, so they are going for a red comp, and the AD carry that is very good with such a comp theme is the Kai'Sa, and if a Kai'Sa pick should come in here, then at least then they have the counter with the Tristana. So maybe they're thinking like that. I don't think so, but at least that's one reason for Tristana to come in here and not a more defensive AD carry. Then Volibear. So Volibear, what was his colors again? Let me think. Yeah, green and black, at least in some cases. But it's not really important. More important here for the Volibear pick is obviously the counter into the Renekton. If you've watched the first videos on my channel, this is something I have been molding about for quite a while. Yeah, Renekton, I mean, he has millions of counters. Volibear is one. Again, no white elements in his kit, and his trading pattern in lane is also very aggressive, so he can be punished by DAMWON Kia's very red topside here. But overall, at least in the lane, it is a counter. DAMWON Kia rounding up the first half with the Alistar pick here. Alistar, a champion, or at least a support, that is white and red. I mean, quite clear, right? So at least another champion on theme for them. It's a bit strange to see the high Alistar prioritization. It is Beryl's probably best champion. If you remember from like 2019 onwards, he was always known for his great Alistar play. But yeah, I would have thought with Kai'Sa always being so high in priority overall in the scene that we would see her here. But maybe they are not electing her because of the Tristana, because of the Hecarim as well. And also against Volibear she has some problems. So I would have expected this pick, but I would not have liked it, right? So I'm actually quite fine with the Alistar here, especially for Beryl. Then in the next ban phase, GenG here with better bans. Again, the Kai'Sa is not super sexy, right? She would fit in well with their theme, but not against GenG's. So again, GenG here kinda wanting to see Kai'Sa, but I could also understand the ban from a like comfortable sense. The Akali though, so yeah, that's good. That's good. Akali would be totally on theme, and they have not really elected counters to her. So the Akali ban is fine. This is a bit, yeah, it's a bit iffy. Then let's get rid of this. And yeah, on the other side, banning two of the more neutralizing mid laners, right? Azir for BDD, and as a colorless champion he can be quite good in his approach. And yeah, again, especially his ultimate, right? Let's focus on that. Against right champions is always quite capable, quite potent. And yeah, Syndra would be something DAMWON likes, because obviously Syndra has a more forward approach also in her trading. Orianna I mentioned again, she's a more neutralizing pick. And yeah, Victor, yeah, it's strange that Victor is not coming in, because yes, Victor is a bit immobile, but so are like most control mages, so he would be susceptible to Alistar and Nidalee as well. But in team fights later on, he would be an absolute menace and stopping DAMWON, and he would be a bit more of a recalibration for these GenG champions that do counter the individual or like seek to counter individual DAMWON picks, right? Hecarim also in the 1v1 good against Nidalee, but on team comp stance and forced or faced with the early aggression, they can crack and crumble. So yeah, Victor would have been a nice pick to at least prevent that. Desire here being elected for Ghost. Multiple reasons why this is good. Decent into Tristana, very good into Hecarim Volibear, right? Her ultimate is often like highly valued, and Xayah is often only picked or like mainly picked because of Hecarim on the enemy team. So yeah, that is at least one reason. And then continuing, we see a strong top side here. So DAMWON want to focus their attention on this quadrant of the mat. So an AD carry that can, yeah, use the defensive layout of the red side bot lane, even more so with her ultimate. Yeah, very good. And again, she has wave clear and defensive capabilities to be a bit more independent for Alistar than to seek out roams into the mid lane, or even more so in the top lane. So yeah, a multitude of reasons why this champion is quite potent. And if you're wondering about the colors, yes, red and white. So like, yeah, she can like be the standard AD carry and farm up and chill, but with Alistar, or like in general, her trading is very aggressive and forward, and she really excels due to her short range, of course, in teamfights with more resources, and just overall fits the red theme. But yeah, again, with the help here of her teammates, it's just overall again fitting with continuation of red. And the white in the bot lane, very good. Again, they can hold out if GenG seeks to split the map, right? DAMWON focus on top side, and they were looking to penetrate and counteract on the bot side. That would be a play that you might expect. So the more defensive bot lane, at least somewhat, very cool. Right? I really like what they're doing here. On the other side, I don't like what GenG is doing here. This is very questionable. So the Zoe is colorless champion, like an Azir for example, but yeah, we know how Zoe really conducts herself, so she's not really, yeah, she doesn't really have most of the taint of blue that Azir has in his kit. So she's a bit more, yeah, a bit more susceptible to the enemy team, and she's, yeah, she's not super terrible, don't get me wrong, but the Victor would have been like a million times better. So yeah, that is very strange. And the Rakan, I mean, yeah, maybe it is, as I mentioned, GenG want to attack the bot side. So yep, because he is a red and a white champion. So yeah, maybe they want to make use of that and attack the bot side, as I mentioned. But DAMWON already has elected a safe bot side. Alistar Xayah is a very safe lane. Even though it's not that much winning against Tristana Rakan, they can at least hold the line and defend. So yeah, they should know that, and Rakan is not really doing too much against that. And overall his effectiveness, similar to Hecarim, similar to Volibear, they all have the like forward approach, even if you should force them to enter their other traits, right? Green, white, and here the green part, right? If they should focus only on this part of their champion identity, which is very hard and they lose a lot of value. Even then, if they want to make a slight use of their kit and their ultimates, for example, they will move forward and will handshake DAMWON Kia. So they're not really acknowledging what DAMWON Kia already has elected and how DAMWON Kia want to play the game. So that's, yeah, overall it's very strange, right? They have not much of stabilization abilities to hold out against DAMWON Kia's red aggression. Rumble here rounding up for DAMWON Kia. So Rumble, yeah, maybe you're interested. Blue and red here. Oh, what? Let's write that again. Blue and red. So again, you might think, oh, how can that be? How can you be like scaling and early game aggression? Again, that's not really what these colors mean. You can say that, but it's not correct. So blue obviously here relies to not the scaling, or like not mainly the scaling, but his terrain control and terrain ability, mainly with his ultimate. And the redness, again, he can be early aggressive, he can snowball, but also overall his trading scheme and the way he approaches fights and the laning phase in general. So another pick that is on theme here. Overall, DAMWON Kia have a comp that is very much sinning and yeah, very straightforward. They don't really have too much of a color mix, right? Too much nuances in their comp here. At least it's on theme. I really don't like it. It's super snowball reliant, and they have the owners on themselves to really to really be the red color, right? To completely steamroll fast and early against GenG. And yeah, they don't really have too much winning matchups on the map, right? Top lane is not too great, jungle is not too great. Mid lane, at least in theory, it would be Rumble against Zoe. In this case, they have swapped Renekton into the mid lane to avoid the Volibear Renekton matchup. In this case, the top lane matchup Rumble against Volibear, at least that is good, but Zoe against Renekton is also not too much winning. So either a mid lane or top lane, should they have swapped or not, they had one point of the map that is not really doing too much, and the bot lane also is not really something they have the pressure. So in terms of identity, and also considering here GenG's comp, I mentioned they don't have much protection early on, they don't have much stabilization, they can be cracked open and snowballed upon. DAMWON Kia has still the chance, but players are not robots, so they're bound to make mistakes, and especially if we consider this is a final, right? GenG is not a 10th place team, they're good enough, they're not really on a level that can and will roll over and get themselves snowballed upon. So this draft is not really all too smart, considering the human element here. GenG not the perfect counter to DAMWON Kia, but they have the better scaling, and yeah, once DAMWON Kia's steam and fuel runs out, they should be able to get a hold of the game and push for the win. In reality, this is not really what happened. We saw that DAMWON Kia, considering that they have very potent players, were still not able to snowball effectively in the early stages. It's just super hard, especially at the moment. And yeah, they were able to muscle out GenG in the complete slugfest that was the mid and late game of this game, and were able to go 2-0. But yeah, it was a clear sign that these drafts are not really effective. Yes, they won, but it was more GenG doing a lot of mistakes in the later stages of the draft and in the later stages of the game. It was not that DAMWON Kia had a good draft at all. They were extremely handicapped by that, especially in the later stages where their comp obviously does not do too much. And again, it's super unrealistic to just say, yeah, okay, we're snowballing. The enemy team is not bad. That you can guarantee that. But that's it for this draft review. It was a bit too long, so I'm sorry for that. But again, remember, here we are on match point for DAMWON Kia. Yeah, you might want to consider subscribing again to not miss out on the potentially last part where DAMWON Kia might able to complete the 3-0, or GenG, they might start their comeback. So till then, have a good day. Bye.